So hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. One of the raging discussions in the SEO community has been whether or not you can rank AI content. But what's even more controversial is whether or not Google can detect AI content. And I have always been of the opinion that Google has the ability to predict the use of AI content, but I never knew for sure, or maybe no one knows for sure if Google actually does that. I think that Google doesn't do that for all websites, but Google does it for a certain category of sites, and when sites reach a certain threshold in terms of ranking and traffic. But I digress. The topic of today's discussion is a warehouse API that was detected by Juan Gonzalez Villa. Now, on his Twitter, he said, I just made an interesting discovery from Google Docs leak. Google seems to have a site-level AI-generated score. Rector scores, site-level AGC classification score. And I've put the screenshot over here, which he has shared. AGC stands for Artificially Generated Content, just like UGC, which is User-Generated Content. So what this does, and if you look at the screenshot over here, it says Google API Warehouse API v1 is version 1, perhaps of model quality. NSR version float signal T default nil. Site level AGC classification score. What's curious about this API is the name. It's Rector scores. Now, if you search Wikipedia for the term Rector, which Juan Gonzalez Villa has done, it brings up this page about the Rector project. So the Rector is an artificial intelligence program that generates English language prose at random. It was published by Mindscape for IBM PC compatibles in 1984, then later for the Apple II, Macintosh, and Amiga. An expansion version of the software, not the one released through Mindscape, was used to generate a text for the published book, The Policeman's Beard and Half Construction. So this was a very early version of AI-generated content, and it was used to generate content. Now, the API, or the name of the API implies that this is used to detect the use of Rector content. Now, if you dig into this, the persecutors of OpenAI, and so think of it as the great-granddaddy of OpenAI, and so even though the content OpenAI generates does not even remotely resemble what was generated by the rather limited Rector AI generation process, it does appear to show that Google is attempting to detect the use of AI generated content. Now, if you put things into context, as Juan has done in his tweet, he says, the mention of Rector and AGC classification score in the model quality NSR data module, which I covered in my previous videos about the warehouse API leak, a module that seems to contain several site level scores and labels. So I think that among the other measures, Google is estimating a probability that the site's content is AI generated. So what Google is doing, as I mentioned, is it's looking at other signals or site level signals before it attempts to predict the use of AI content. So I need to be careful here because there's a difference between detecting the use of content and predicting the use of content. A prediction could always be wrong, but a detection could be right or wrong. So that is what we have for now when it comes to this API. I'm sure that there is a lot more to it, but there is no context to this. Also, on a side note, I found a way to avoid or bypass Google My Business's video verification. So I've kind of experimented with this with a couple of clients who have been stuck at video verification, especially if you're trying to do multiple Google My Business listings, and I found a way to bypass it. I'm kind of now going to think about offering it as a service, but I think it's cool that I found a way to bypass this, and it's a white hat way, so it's not going to hack anything. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that, there's always a back door into everything. Like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you're familiar with the Rector project, and I will see you guys in the next video.